Welcome back, everybody. In this video, our focus is going to be lesson number 31. In lesson number 31, we are going to learn our last two notes on the sixth string, which will conclude all of the notes, all of the natural notes in first position across all six strings, the notes that we learn first when we learn how to play the guitar. The first new note isn't actually new at all. This was a note we learned back in lesson 1 when we were learning how to read and we were practicing the notes on the open strings. The first note in lesson 31 is your sixth string open. It's called E, also called low E for the sixth string. And if you remember, the first string is high E. Okay, low E is going to be played with your index finger of your right hand. Also notice there is no triangle above the I in this exercise. If you're looking at your book, that's because that triangle, he mentions this in the beginning of the book, is a notation for the right hand, meaning you're going to accent that note. In other words, you're going to play with a rest stroke. Now, we've been playing these notes with rest strokes and free strokes, depending on what you needed to work on. But I do want to make it clear that you cannot play rest strokes on the sixth string because there is no other string for our fingers to rest onto, right? We could do this, but that creates some percussive sounds that we don't want. So we're going to play these as free strokes. And then if you'd like to, you can play the notes on the fifth string with rest strokes. Entirely up to you. I'm going to play everything as free strokes to make it more consistent. So let's run through, by the way, the next note, F. F is going to be on the first fret of the sixth string. We're going to use our index finger of our first finger of our left hand to play it. And our right hand is going to be playing it with our middle finger according to the music. Alright, just remember that you're playing perpendicular since we are playing the bass strings. You don't want to get this scratch when you're playing over notes. You avoid that by turning your hand and playing more perpendicular. Alright, so just be mindful of that. And all of the other notes we've already learned, G, A, B, a G, and then the two new notes, F and E. All right, let's run through this lesson very quickly and finish off the notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and E, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, B, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, stop. I do want to mention one more thing before we go. Because these strings are wound, you get that scratchiness, right, that I mentioned with your right hand. You will occasionally also get it with your left hand. See that? You might have heard it when I played the last maybe 2 or 3 notes. Might have gently heard that squeak. That's something we want to avoid. The reason that's happening is because we are lifting up our finger, but also moving it at the same time. So we get this. If you want to avoid that with your left hand, you have to think of the motion as 2 separate motions. You want to think of them as the motion as 2 separate motions. What you can do is when you lift your finger off, make sure you lift it off entirely before thinking about moving. So you lift and then move. Lift and then move. Otherwise, you're going to get this. You see? You can get this with the left hand too. Like a DJ. Right? You lift, shift, we call it moving shift. Lift, shift, press down. Lift, shift, press down. Really useful in passages that are heavily focused on the lower 3 strings. I will see all of you in lesson number 32.